Starting off this countdown, we have Zone Rogue. Zone Rogue, sometimes called the Red Zone or Zone Rouge, is an area in northeastern France that got destroyed during World War I. After the war, the land was declared 100% damaged with devastating effects on the agriculture. It was said to be impossible to clean, and human life there was said to be impossible. So the French government prohibited anyone from going there. In fact, this area is littered with human and animal remains and millions of unexploded weapons. So it's literally dangerous to go there. All you need to do is be traveling there and you set off an explosive. That would not end well. In our 9th spot, we have Room 39. Room 39 is a top secret room located in North Korea. The whole location is heavily guarded. They don't want anyone getting into this room. In fact, it's said to be one of the most secret places in North Korea, a place that's already so secretive. It was created in the late 1970s. Room 39 is the meeting place for a top secret North Korean party organization. They apparently get up to a number of illegal activities in that room, like counterfeiting, selling and producing drugs, and selling weapons. Apparently, they bring in $500 million to $1 billion per year through these illegal activities. So yeah, no wonder they don't want outsiders inside of this room. Should anyone try to get in? Well, I'm sure you can imagine what would happen. In our 8th spot today, we have Vale do Javari. Located in Brazil in the Amazon, this area is one of the largest indigenous territories in the world. It's home to a number of indigenous tribes. There are said to be 2,000 individuals belonging to at least 14 tribes living there. In fact, they remained uncontacted with until several years ago. But the Brazilian government has banned anyone from going there. It's illegal if you do so. This is because they want to protect the people living there. Any contact with the outside world could be dangerous to these individuals. We could transmit diseases and wipe them out. So in an effort to protect the tribes, it's illegal to visit the area. In our 7th spot, we have the Korean Demilitarized Zone. This is the area that marks the separation between South and North Korea. The only people that reside there are high-ranking officials. It's illegal for anyone else to visit the site. In fact, it's one of the most militarized zones in the world, so why would anyone even want to go there? In fact, they have enough weapons to bombard Seoul with over 10,000 rounds every minute. Now, the North Korean side primarily serves to stop an invasion of North Korea from the south. Up until 1972, over 7,000 Korean soldiers infiltrated North Korea. More than half of them lost their lives. In our 6th spot today, we have Metro 2. Located in Moscow, Russia, there is a secret underground metro system operated by the Russian Ministry of Defense. It's said that this system connects the Moscow Kremlin with the Federal Security Service headquarters. The only problem is, no one knows where it is. That's how secret it is. People know it exists, but they haven't been able to find where it is or how to get in. Either way, you're banned from doing so anyways. We're now at our 5th and halfway mark with Varosha Cyprus. Once upon a time in the early 70s, Varosha was a popular tourist attraction. In fact, it was one of the most popular ones in the world. That was until 1974 when Turkey invaded. As a result, all the residents had to flee or else they were killed. They were forcibly removed from their homes and were never allowed to come back. The Turkish military then took control of the whole area, and no one is allowed to enter. In fact, the whole area is now fenced off and under constant supervision. Not only that, but the army patrols have orders to shoot on sight. So people don't even want to take a chance by going even remotely close to there. In our 4th spot, we have Pine Gap. Located deep in the Australian outback is Pine Gap, a top secret military base. In fact, this base has been named Australia's Area 51. That's how mysterious it is there. This base is operated by the Australian government and by the CIA and the NSA. In 2013, it was revealed that the NSA uses this facility to collect internet and telephone records, when originally it was said that this place was just a space research center. Clearly, that was just one big lie. So this place is just a big place for intelligence activities and military operations. What's scary is that it's rumored that this base is home to one of the most terrifying surveillance systems out there, the Echelon. This is the code name given to a very secretive and intense surveillance program. So yeah, anyone caught trespassing, you're in huge trouble. In our third spot, we have Morgan Island. This is another island completely off limits, and that's because it's filled with monkeys. Now you might be thinking, oh, I love monkeys, they're so cute. No, okay? These monkeys are said to be infected by the herpes B virus, but it wasn't always like this. What happened was that the monkeys were originally from Puerto Rico, but then there was a viral outbreak among locals because the monkeys became overpopulated. So they tried to fix this problem by moving the monkeys to Morgan Island. In 1979, over 1,400 animals were relocated to Morgan Island. As a result, the island is off limits for your safety and the safety of the monkeys. Coming in at number 2, we have Mount Weather, aka one of America's best kept secrets. No, I didn't just make that up, that's actually what it's called. This is a secret facility located in Virginia. In fact, for years people were wondering if Mount Weather was actually real. It was just kind of rumored to be a thing. But alas, it is real. Mount Weather is an emergency operations center. They have an underground bunker there, so in case of emergency, they can keep all the government officials there in that bunker. They even have their own police department, fire department, and laws for this place. So we all know if there's an apocalypse, that's where the government will be hiding out. And of course, it's surrounded by armed guards, fences, and razor wires. And in our number 1 spot today, we have Russia's nuclear missile facility. In the Ural Mountains in Russia, there's a top secret town that no one is allowed to visit. This is because this is the place that Russia does their nuclear missile testing. As a result, no one is allowed to go in or even near the vicinity. Again, why would you even want to go anyways? That place is probably incredibly radioactive. It's also believed that around the area, the Russians have a secret bunker complex for the government and/or the Russian armed forces. Starting off this countdown, we have Pravcicka Brana. Located in the Czech Republic, this is a narrow rock formation and popular tourist attraction. However, the arch has been severely weakened over time due to erosion. Now visitors are no longer allowed to get on top of the arch. You're allowed to go and look at it, but only from afar. They're afraid that the arch will collapse with tourists on it, resulting in a number of casualties. As a result, it's prohibited to go on or near it. In fact, they believe that the arch might collapse very soon. So if you've always wanted to see it, go make a trip now before it's too late. In our 9th spot, we have McDonald's Island, Australia. This is an uninhabited island located in the southern Indian Ocean, and it belongs to Australia. In fact, this island and Heard Island are said to be one of the remotest places on Earth. That's one of the reasons why no one wants to go there. The other reason is that it's part of the IUCN's strict nature reserve. In order to keep the animals on the island safe, the island is closed to any outsiders. The only people allowed to visit the island are researchers, and even they aren't allowed to stay for too long, and they have to follow strict protocols so that they don't disturb the living conditions on the island. In our 8th spot, we have Maya Bay. Located in Thailand, this is another area that visitors are banned from as an attempt to restore the environment there. Basically, in 2000, the movie The Beach, starring Leonardo DiCaprio, was released, and since it was filmed in Maya Bay, the area was soon flooded with tourists. Millions of people visited the site per year. Sadly, the ecosystem greatly suffered from this. So in June of 2018, Thailand closed down the area to help the ecosystem. It remained closed until I believe this year, January. But if the environment is put at risk again, it might be shut down once again. Coming in at number 7, we have Woomera Australia. This is a military and aerospace center and test range located in South Australia. This area is run by the Royal Australian Air Force, and it's so big that it's roughly the size of North Korea or Pennsylvania. Now, this area is strictly guarded by the Royal Australian Air Force. All we need is for someone to break in and get in the way of weapons testing. That would not be good for anyone. Like I previously mentioned, they own the airspace above, so anyone that tries to fly by or even flies too close to their area will be targeted. And I hope they leave fast enough before facing the consequences. Coming in at number 6 today, we have Plymouth. This area is often referred to as the Pompeii of the Caribbean. Why? Well, in 1996, a volcano erupted, causing a mass evacuation. A few months later, some residents returned, but were welcomed with another eruption. On June 25th, 1997, this eruption killed 19 residents, and it destroyed the island's airport, trapping many others from fleeing. Eventually, this area was evacuated again, but this time, no one wanted to return. Everything was destroyed. In fact, 80% of the town is currently covered in ash. Pictures show homes completely buried with only their roofs sticking out. So now, it's a ghost town. Now, there are some people allowed to visit the island, but the main area of Plymouth are restricted for, obvious safety reasons. Plus, there is a chance that the volcano might erupt again, and no one wants to be near it when that happens. We are now at our 5th and halfway mark with Fort Knox, Kentucky. This is a heavily guarded government facility / army installation that people don't really know much about, but it's said that it stores a large portion of gold and other valuable items that the US government has in their possession. In fact, this place is famous for being one of the most heavily guarded areas and one of the most restricted places on Earth. It's protected by 30,000 soldiers, so no one has even dared to try and visit. Plus, it's said to have some of the most sophisticated safety features. Moving on to number 4, we have the Cheyenne Mountain Complex. This is an underground base located nearly half a mile under a granite mountain. It's a massive military installation and defense bunker that is run by Air Force Space Command. In the late 1950s, it was used as a command and control center against long-range Soviet bombers. Then in 1967, it was taken over by the Aerospace Defense Command Combat Operations Center. Now, this base is very secure. First off, it's comprised of 6 tunnels. Each tunnel is 3 stories tall. The whole base is secured if a nuclear explosion occurs. In fact, it's protected by a 25-ton blast door. These doors will close within 45 seconds of the blast occurring, so they are really well prepared. In fact, it's said to be one of the most secure locations on the planet. In our 3rd spot, we have Jeannette Island. Located in Russia, this island is believed to be home to a secret Russian military base. Now, you want to know how top secret it is? Well, if you Google this island's coordinates on Google Earth, all you'll see is water, not even land. That's because they had it removed entirely from Google Maps. Before that, the island was just blurred out, so if you try to zoom in, the screen would kind of just go black. As a result, people believe that there's a concealed Russian military base located there, and a substantial one. I mean, the whole thing is wiped completely from Google Maps, so they don't want people knowing that it exists. Coming in at number 2, we have Menwith Hill. Located in the UK, this is the largest electronic monitoring station in the world. Now, if you see it, the area literally looks like a bunch of giant golf balls in a field. They're not, obviously. Each ball has its own antenna system, and it's said to be part of the Echelon system. For those of you who don't know, that is the code name of a very secretive and intense surveillance program. It's said to be one of the most terrifying surveillance systems out there. This site works on behalf of the NSA and is one of the 3 main sites operated by the US. In 2006, it was declared a secret and private zone, and they made it a criminal offense for anyone that tries to trespass. And in our number 1 spot today, we have Uluru. Uluru, otherwise known as Ayers Rock, is a massive sandstone monolith located in Australia. It actually was open to the public, and a number of climbers would scale the rock formation. That was until 2019. That's when it was declared a sacred place to the indigenous people in the area. And people were banned from climbing the rocks. It's said that those who do not obey this rule will be cursed. Also, any disrespectful tourists that visit the site will also be cursed. In fact, tourists who have visited the site and have collected rocks from it as a souvenir have later reported having extreme bad luck. A number of people have actually mailed the rocks back to the site to remove the curse. Starting off this countdown, we have Aksai Chin. This is a region in Asia which is a disputed border between China and India. As a result, some people call it the line of actual control. It separates India-controlled Ladakh from China-controlled Ladakh. Now, this area is only home to military personnel. No outsiders are ever allowed into this region. Only military personnel and high-ranking officials. I don't think anyone has dared to try and go to this area. I mean, why would you? It is said to be quite beautiful with like salt lakes and valleys, but it's also filled with officers and weapons, so... In our 9th spot today, we have the Google data centers. Now, I personally didn't even know this was a thing, but apparently Google has data centers located in 4 continents: North America, South America, Asia, and Europe. These centers store and process all of Google's data. Knowing just how big Google is, this is a huge deal. Photos of the centers show just how intense they are. And of course, these centers are completely off limits to visitors for a number of reasons. First off, we don't need random people wandering in and fooling around with things. Second is to protect Google from any kind of data breach. In our 8th spot today, we have the Queen's bedroom, which is kind of a funny one, not gonna lie. Buckingham Palace is said to have 775 rooms. I don't know anyone that needs that many rooms, but clearly the Queen does. One room that is highly off limits is the Queen's bedroom. Many areas in the palace are actually open for public tours, but never this one. Her bedroom is heavily guarded, but it wasn't always. In 1982, a man named Michael Fagan broke into the Queen's bedroom. In fact, this is said to be one of the greatest security breaches of all times. And Michael did it just so he could win a bet with his friends. Anyways, after that incident, the palace didn't want to take any more chances, so the area is now heavily guarded. In fact, her bedroom is said to be one of the most restricted places on Earth. In our 7th spot today, we had the buffer zone. In 1974, the UN took control of a buffer zone in Cyprus after Turkish troops invaded the area. It created a civil war between the Greek and Turkish residents. So the UN took this buffer zone area to help end the fighting. Now, the areas in the zone are completely abandoned. You got abandoned homes, businesses, stores, even a small airport. It looks like a ghost town, or some say it's a place that will now remain frozen in time. In our 6th spot today, we have the Global Seed Vault. So it seems like our world kind of has a plan if the end of the world does happen. I don't know how reassuring that is, but okay. They still want humanity to survive. So basically, in Norway, on a remote island, there is a 11,000 square foot structure that houses more than 1 million seed samples from places all around the world. Basically, it allows us to preserve crops in case our environment is just completely destroyed. The structure was built to withstand earthquakes, floods, and even nuclear attacks. Now, only the government has access to this place, and they can only go in when they're putting seed samples away. It's considered the final backup of life, so they don't want anyone fooling around there. As a result, it's heavily guarded and off limits. We are now at our 5th and halfway mark with the Mormon Church Vault. Located in Little Cottonwood Canyon outside of Salt Lake City is a vault owned by the Mormon Church. The vault is literally located 600 feet in the Granite Mountain, and it's filled with ancient archives, including family history records. It's said that it holds more than 3.5 billion images on microfilm and digital media. And obviously, they don't want anything to happen to their archives, so there's no public access to the vault. Not only that, but the doors are reinforced so that they're able to withstand a nuclear blast. Moving on to number 4, we have Bhangarth Fort, India. This place is said to be the most haunted place in all of India, which is one reason why no one wants to go there. But if you do go there, you're only allowed to go between sunset and sunrise. If you visit any other time, chances are you'll wind up dead or cursed or both. So legend goes that there once was a man named Madho Singh. He was given permission to build this fort by the king under one condition. The fort never cast a shadow over his house. He said that if this happened, the city will perish. Now he obeyed his command and made sure that his fort never did. But Singh's successor ignored this, and he built the walls up higher. In the end, it cast a shadow over his house, and that's when the king's curse started. Now that's one legend. There's also another legend about a princess and a practitioner of black magic that cursed the town, and apparently to this day, it is still cursed. As a result, no foreigners are allowed, and like I said, you can never go there before sunrise and after sunset. According to locals, 3 men decided to stay there after sundown, and things went bad. One of the guys fell into a deep well. Now, he was rescued, but on their way to the hospital, all 3 of them got crushed in a road accident and died. In our third spot today, we have the Forbidden Island. Located in Hawaii, there's an island called Niihau, or the Forbidden Island. And its name rings true. No one is allowed on this island. The only people allowed on the island are the descendants of those who lived there before them on the island. It was purchased in the 1860s, and ever since then, it's been home to one family, and one family only. In fact, the island even looks mysterious. You can't really see it unless you're on a specific beach during sunset, and that's when you can kind of see the island's silhouette. In our second spot, we have Ise Grand Shrine. Located in Japan, this is a very important shrine for the Shinto religion. As a result, only high-ranking officials like priests and imperial family members are allowed to go there. It was originally built to honor the goddess of the sun and universe. In fact, it's said that it was constructed without using a single nail. It was constructed around 2,000 years ago, and since the late 7th century, it has been demolished and rebuilt every 20 years. Every time they do this, it costs $500 million. And that's because every detail has to be replicated. It has to look the exact same. Now they do this because it symbolizes the Shinto concepts of death and rebirth. It also helps to keep the building in great shape because wood has a shorter lifespan than other building materials. This way, it'll never rot. And in our number one spot today, we have Heard Island. There's a big reason as to why Heard Island is off limits to humans. That's because Heard Island is said to be one of the most dangerous places on Earth. It's home to a 9,000 foot tall volcano, which has been active since at least the early 2000s. Not only does it spew lava, but massive glaciers also like to tumble down and can easily kill anything in its path. The wind speeds there average around 20 miles per hour. It has gotten to 200 kilometers per hour, which is considered Category 3 hurricane force. Not only that, but if you did want to go there, it would take you 2 weeks to get there from a boat from Australia. And then you'd be risking your life doing so with the bad sailing weather. So no one really likes to go there. Alright guys, that's all for today's video. I always ask this question, but if you could go to any places on today's list, which one would you go to? Yeah, I don't even know which one I would go to. It's kind of hard. I don't want to die.